we're talking about AI, and then you're talking about automation, and then AI workflows and agentic workflows and AI agent, and like what's going on. One kind of axis to look at is like, if you look at like just these basic automations, like these old school workflows, they are basically just very deterministic. They're kind of like going into a math calculator. So it might be like in the context of HR, it might be something like an onboarding process, like there's a new hire signaled from your ATS or a form you fill out or something. And like what should happen when that new hire is kind of triggered? Like we have a new hire coming, an old school workflow system could just like send a welcome email, and maybe there's an integration, add them to an HRIS. So it's like very deterministic.
Very basic, and it's not going to make the welcome email different every time. It's going to be like a set template that you send. It's not going to like customize and make this beautiful personalized email.
Now, what is an AI workflow? So if in the context of a workflow builder, like we're talking about today, that might be the same thing as here, but in this workflow, you might have added like one action that does write that personalized message. So it's actually looking at maybe the person who's getting hired. It looks at the information you give it. You often call that the context window. So it could be like, who's this person who's coming? What information do we have about them? And because you have maybe the entire history of communications with that person, whether that's email or other things, it can actually write something personalized. So there you could just have just like you could go into ChatGPT or Claude or something and write a prompt like, hey, write a personalized message to Jessie here, and like put that into and then I'm going to take that and put it into the email. You can have that as a step in between. And an AI workflow can have one or more of those, right? So it's still very deterministic. It's still like when this action finishes, the next action will get started. When that finishes, the next one will get started. So it's very kind of step-by-step structured, but it can make the experience a lot better. And you can add those in multiple places. So you could start by doing something like you're onboarding someone, it writes a personalized message. Maybe if you're onboarding them, maybe they uploaded a photo somewhere and you need to validate if the photo is good enough because there might be like a background check or a visa application or whatever. So you could have a step where the AI checks that as well. And if it's all valid, then it kind of moves forward. If not, it doesn't. So you can kind of like really configure what exactly should the AI do here, step by step. What are you feeding it? And like if it's, and you can have multiple branches. Like if the photo is good, do this. If it's bad, do that. If you're not sure, do something else. So you can kind of map this up the way you want to in this kind of sense. It could all be automated, like you're saying. You could also not have it automated. You could have it like automated to the point where you say, well, before you write the personalized message, let me know and I want to check it off or something.
Yeah. So and like have that human in the loop. Exactly. I'm not going to go past this point in the step without you telling me I'm allowed to go ahead. And I think for HR workflows, I think that can happen in a lot of cases actually, where you want it to do some stuff, but you do really want to have that check before things just, send out. Right?
Basically being in control and governing it is one of the key things here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where there's a lot in that space that HR can do without even moving to the agent space, like not even going anywhere near that yet. Like even just the workflow without AI, the workflow, with AI, these automations can do a lot for HR. There's a lot of use cases. There's a lot of things that actually this is more suited for than what's coming in the next, when you click next. But, and I think that's where people, they're like, oh my God, AI. And I'm like, actually step back. I think aside from these things that we're looking at now, the biggest thing is actually design of the workflow. Like, what are we actually automating? And does this make sense? Like, we used to do it like that because we had limitations. Now we don't have as many limitations, or we have these cool tools. So let's like reimagine how we can do this, right? That's what I like about this. It gives you so much space for creativity.
Most people who are doing something that's actually bringing them business value, that's kind of showing, this is how much time I'm spending on it, this is how much time I've saved, or efficiency or whatever it might be. They're doing it with these types of methods. Now, if we move on, Jessie, maybe to the AI agents then. What's an AI agent and an agentic workflow on those things? And an AI agent is sort of interesting. Like when you technically when you talk to just chat-based AI, like just a Claude or a ChatGPT, that is an AI agent. It's doing autonomous work after you give it some information. It goes and does some work, and it might do it in different ways. The difference, like what most people talk about, however, when they talk about it, is like it is something that is autonomous in its decision making, and it can kind of do the steps in the order that it thinks is right. So instead of doing it deterministically, like you do this action and then you do the next, it can decide to do a ton of things It could write a message. It could do the photo validation. It could create a contract. It can do a ton of things before moving forward. And how it decides to do that is very probabilistic based on what it believes is the right thing to do. And what it believes is the right thing to do is based on what's called the context window. It's like all the knowledge it has, all the instructions it has, all the systems it has access to. And this is something, I mean, you can technically make your own chat better by turning it into a better agent. You can give it access to your own tools that you use. You can give it access to the internet. You can give it access to a bunch of instructions that makes it better at doing things. And then you can take that agent that you've configured and you can put that into a workflow that's deterministic, like this one, or you can connect it with other agents, which is very probabilistic. And that's typically called an agentic workflow, when you have agents working together, kind of deciding what to do, when, why, what, and where, and in what order.